What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response, and guess what, folks? ABC says Trump and Harris have agreed to participate in a presidential debate on September 10th. So Trump finally relented. He put it out there that he wasn't going to do that debate, that they need to reschedule a debate, and I made a video talking about this, as a matter of fact. And I got so many hate comments from Democrats saying, oh, Trump's a loser, he's running scared, blah, 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 he's going to get smoked if they debate. And it's like, come on, dude, really? Trump's running scared from a debate? I don't think Trump has ever run scared from any debate. I think he would debate just about anybody. Not saying that he would win, of course, but I don't really think he's scared to debate. You know, that was just BS coming from these people. But, you know, it was funny to see that they just latched onto that. But, you know, you shoot right back at them because Kamala Harris refused to debate on Fox News. But the argument coming from the left on that is, oh, well, Fox News is fake news. So is ABC, folks. I mean, what, we throwing stones back at each other here? I mean, come on now. They're both doing the same thing, but yet one is better than the other, right? They're both pulling out of debates, essentially. But now Trump has relented and said, okay, we'll do the debate. But, you know, I understand why Trump pulled out of that debate. That was set up with Joe Biden. And Kamala Harris just comes in, and all of a sudden they think, well, it's okay to just go ahead and keep that. Right? No, like I said, it's like a boxing match, and somebody drops out of it and somebody else wants to take their place. Generally speaking, you would reschedule the boxing match, right? So I'm just saying that's just my type of logic. I don't know if you guys have any different logic that works differently somehow, but that's how generally things work. When somebody drops out of a scheduled event and somebody else wants to take their place, you generally reschedule the event. Not always. And in this case, apparently now we're going to go ahead and go through. So let's get into and see what the corporate press says about this. ABC says both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have agreed to a September 10th presidential debate, setting up a face-off between the Republican and Democratic nominees. The announcement on Thursday, August 8th, 2024, came shortly after Trump told a news conference that he had proposed 3 presidential debates with 3 television networks, saying he agreed on certain dates in September. Trump is rejoining the ABC debate days after posting on his social media network that he would not appear on the network, citing a lawsuit he has filed. Yeah, that's not the only thing he said, though. I do believe he stated the fact that, yeah, that was set up with Joe Biden. Joe Biden dropped out. We need to set up another debate. I do believe that was the stated, but they didn't put that. So, you know, there you go. The corporate press leaving out facts. His decision sets up a highly anticipated moment in an election where the first debate led to a massive change in the race, with Democratic President Joe Biden ending his re-election bid and endorsing Harris. I think it's very, very important to have debates, Trump said Thursday. I look forward to the debates because I think we have to set the record straight. The Harris campaign had no immediate comment. You know, that's something else I want to talk about right quick. Like these debates, these are very good. I think 3 of them are good. That's fine. Normally there's a couple of them. We got vice presidential debates, and I can't wait to see Tim Walz versus J.D. Vance. I wonder how that's going to go. I think personally, you know, and hey, I have a bias. I ain't going to lie. I think J.D. Vance is going to mop the freaking floor with Tim Walz, but honestly, I have no idea. I don't know anything about Tim Walz except from what I've been hearing from the corporate press and from X. And if you go on X and look up Tim Walz and see some of the stuff, you'd be like, holy crap, is some of this true? Try to fact check, and it's really hard. Like, I made a video yesterday. I think it came out this morning, as a matter of fact. But the article I read out was so damn confusing that I had one of my listeners say I was muddling through it. And honestly, I was, because the damn article was so confusing, and I was trying to straighten all that crap out, and I was like, I didn't know what to do. The video was kind of confusing, I ain't gonna lie. So, hey, look, man, I'm sorry. I apologize. I try to be straightforward. I try to be factual as I can. But sometimes, the corporate press, man, they word stuff in such a way. But, I'm doing my best. I'll put it to you that way. Like I always tell people, if y'all knew me in real life, y'all would be surprised that I'm able to do this at all. Because I don't talk to people like at work or nothing like that. Like none of this. Right? And everything comes off the top of my head. I don't script nothing. I just read the news. I do a little bit of research beforehand, so that's how I have facts on my side. But I do a little bit of research to try to fact check some of the points that they're making in the article. Sometimes I don't even read the whole article, to be honest with you. Like I'll see the headline, read the first paragraph, and be like, oh yeah, I've got to cover this, and then just go right into it blind. So sometimes you're getting the news as I'm getting the news, and you're getting my reaction right off the top of my head. That's just how I do things, right? Because I don't really have time to script anything, and I'm not a good writer anyway. I can do it much better like this, I believe. I don't think a script would help me at all. To be honest, I used to write music, and I would write everything out so fast. It got to the point after doing music for a while, I would just go into the vocal booth and basically freestyle my verses. Now, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't all that good. And if you want to hear one of my songs, I'll go ahead and throw it at the end of this. But that song, as a matter of fact, was a kind of a freestyle. But not trying to get discombobulated here. Trump had teased an announcement about the presidential debate earlier this week after pulling out of an ABC News debate scheduled for September 10th after President Joe Biden ended his re-election campaign. Trump had said he would prefer that Fox News sponsor the debate, but on Wednesday was showing willingness to reconsider ABC. Trump also echoed criticism from his running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, that Harris has not held a news conference or sat down for interviews since Mr. Biden's withdrawal last month, and she entered the race. Mrs. Harris has a traveling press pool with her on Air Force Two for all trips. Trump does not have a set of traveling press pool that regularly accompanies him on his plane when he goes out to campaign. Yeah, that's kind of weird, right? Like, we haven't been seeing much of Joe Biden, but Kamala Harris hasn't done a press conference, y'all. Not yet. I mean, she's been to a couple of rallies. Of course, she has to, right? I guess all of her vice presidential duties are now just, what was she doing in the first place, by the way? Leave a comment down below. Not trying to bury the lead here, but leave a comment. Mr. Vance has journalists flying with him, and he campaigned this week in the states where Miss Harris and Mr. Walz had their own events scheduled. That included on Wednesday when Mr. Vance's plane and Air Force Two ended up on the same tarmac in Wisconsin. Mr. Vance started walking toward the Democrats' plane, but did not reach it before a motorcade carrying Mrs. Harris, Mr. Walz, and the traveling press pulled away. Is that so, corporate press?
Guys, how are you? Alright. So I know you're covering the vice president here. I figured I'd come by and one, just give a good look at the plane, because hopefully it's going to be my plane in a few months, but I also thought you guys might get lonely because the vice president doesn't answer questions from reporters and hasn't for 17 days. Have they given you guys an explanation for why she won't take questions from reporters? No? Nobody? Okay, great. Well, I hope that she changes her mind, because it'd be good for the American people, and I think it'd be good for you all if she actually ran a real campaign instead of one from a basement with a teleprompter. So, have a good one, guys. See ya.
What would you like to hear from her?
I'd love her to answer your questions. I'd love her to just answer what she wants to do, and also explain why every single position she has changed. She pretends to be a prosecutor, yet she pretends to be a tough on crime prosecutor, and yet here she is wanting to defund the police. She's the border czar, yet she's opened up the American southern border. This is a person who has to answer the questions from the media, and it's disgraceful that she runs for you guys. It's also insulting to the American people. But anyway, we're going to go do our event. I appreciate you guys being here. I wish she paid you some more attention. See ya.
Okay, so there you go, folks. That was an outright lie, right? Like, they were kind of close, But that was a lie. That was just a blatant lie. He was walking up, and that motorcade saw him coming. They knew who it was. You can't tell me that Kamala Harris's entourage didn't know that that was J.D. Vance coming. They knew. They were there. They walked up, stopped, started talking to the press, and, maybe 10, 15 seconds go by, and then you see a car go. You saw the video. So that is not true. They didn't pull up before they got there. Kamala Harris saw them coming. I would have loved to have seen them kind of get into a press conference, the two of them right there on the tarmac, the vice president and the next vice president, hopefully. That would have been amazing to see, because Kamala Harris had said this recently.
I do hope you'll reconsider to meet me on the debate stage. Because as the saying goes, if you've got something to say, say it to my face.
So, if I'm going to play the games of the corporate press, what are you doing, Kamala Harris? Put your money where your mouth is. You see them coming and you tuck tail and run? That's what the corporate press would say. But I'm not, of course. I'm sure they had a schedule. They had somewhere to go. They had somewhere to be. They didn't have time to do all that. I'm willing to admit that. But the corporate press obviously isn't. They're trying to make it look like J.D. Vance was ducking them or something. It's like, what's going on with all this? I don't know what's going on, but we need some change in this country, folks. I'm going to go ahead and just rant for the rest of this video, because there ain't nothing left of that story, by the way. So if you don't want to hear my rant, go ahead and exit. Peace. Have a good one. But I really wish, though, that this video would reach a lot of Democrat voters and they would actually sit down and listen. Look, Donald Trump isn't the best thing since sliced bread. I'm backing Donald Trump, but it's only because we don't have a better choice. But Donald Trump isn't going to be that bad, y'all. He's got some pretty good ideas. Agenda 47 is not that bad. Don't worry, Project 2025 isn't going to come to fruition, y'all. It's a think tank. They do think tank stuff all the time. Progressives have think tanks, and progressives do think tank stuff too. But you don't hear conservative media whinging constantly over some of what these think tanks put out. No, you don't. You don't, because they know it's just a think tank. Of course they're going to have some crazy ideas. Of course they're going to try to push the boundaries of what society will allow. Of course they're going to say some things that are quite offensive. That goes in both directions, on both sides. But we need some positive change in this country. I implore everybody to look into your congressman. Look into who the hell you're voting for. At least know what you're voting for when you go to vote. Don't just listen to the corporate press narrative and buy in to the dictator Kool-Aid, right, that they're trying to paint Donald Trump as. We've seen 4 years of Donald Trump, and nobody can admit that it was bad under Donald Trump, right? Like, nobody will say that. We were doing really good under Donald Trump, whether that was from his policies or not. I will admit that not everything falls on Joe Biden or Donald Trump. The economy was doing good, but there was something going on with Donald Trump that, as a matter of fact, absolutely helped spur on the economy. I'll say that. Good policy does that. Good foreign policy does that. Getting out there, making peace agreements. Donald Trump done that. Has Joe Biden made any peace agreements at all? Donald Trump made several. I don't think Joe Biden has done any at all. That's accomplishments to me. Right? Crossing the demilitarized zone with no security detail as the President of the United States. That's an accomplishment to me. That's amazing to me. Joe Biden hasn't done anything like that, folks. Joe Biden has overseen a war in Europe and has done nothing to try to stop it. He's overseen this war in Gaza and has done not much to try to stop it. Puts out some statements here and there and gets on the side of Gaza for some reason, right? Like, instead of sending negotiators in there to try to make peace, to try to send negotiators to Ukraine. He doesn't do that. You know, Saudi Arabia got out of the petrodollar deal, some accord that we've been having for 50 years, to where everybody that buys oil from Saudi Arabia has to do it through the US dollar. They got out of that deal. So the petrodollar is no more. So we need to shore up our borders. We need to shore up our economy. We need positive change. We need to stop spending in a deficit. We need to get some congressmen that are willing to vote in the interests of the American people instead of the interests of the lobby. Almost every congressman votes in the interest of whoever is lobbying them. That's insane. We have maybe 10 congressmen that actually vote on behalf of their constituents. It's crazy. Thomas Massie is one of these people that is well known for not voting for anything where they have to spend money. He votes against it because we have a spending problem in this country. $1.7 trillion deficit spending. Right? And you could blame that on Joe Biden because that's the federal government budget. That's insane. But Congress has to approve it. So, once again, if Joe Biden writes up the budget and Congress approves it, that's a 50-50 split, y'all. That's partly Congress's fault and partly Joe Biden's fault. Right? There's no need to spend that much more than what you take in. I'm sorry. You can't just keep printing money and printing money and printing money and thinking nothing bad is going to happen. You can't keep borrowing dollars, and not think our debt's going to skyrocket and get to a point to where lenders are going to say, no, we can't lend you any more money. What do we do then? We need new congressmen, y'all. That is one of the most important, that, like I always say, Congress is the most powerful institution in this country. And we need positive change. We don't need more Democrat establishment like Kamala Harris. We don't need that. I think Donald Trump would do really good. Of course, the machine, Washington, D.C., they're going to have a survival instinct kick in, right? They're going to have their antibodies come out and fight against, taking power away from the federal government, right? That's something else. Once again, like Donald Trump wants to de-bloat, wants to shrink the federal government. How is that dictatorial conduct? Democrats can't answer that because they don't have an answer for that. But I think I've rambled on for long enough on this one, y'all. I want y'all to let me know who y'all think's going to win that debate. Let me know down in the comments. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.
I'm a problem since the date of birth. Ain't nobody on the circuit put the doctor in the hearse. I'm the worst on the verse, ain't nobody can hold me. I just let my words disperse, now the birds wanna fold me. I'm like a goalie, nothing passing me up. It's like I'm married to this game, but I signed a pre-up. You can call me clean up, cause I'm mopping glow. Them haters try to D up, but they can't stop the flow. They might stop the show, but they ain't stopping the train. Man, I'm in this damn thing, the definition of rain. Coming hard like the thunder, and I'm striking like the lightning. I'm writing every same what you thinking when you fighting. If you don't like it, then don't listen to it, man. But I warn you, I'm contagious like the sun in Pakistan. Money stacked up in my hand, and I ain't even trying. Spitting lyrics and you hear it, it's the words I'm supplying. I'm a problem.